So are we being held to the lower densities? Those would be called like places where souls are, lower densities, and like the law of one teachings. Are we being stuck in the lower densities because we are being set up by massive um, no, some of the ideas, never mind. We wanted to have a lot of times an answer for do you think this or do you think that? And at some points we said, do I want to answer this? Or is this like just the end of the discussion? And regardless of what the original intention was, I got a pulse from another actor. In acting class, they talk about pulses. It's like an energy pulse you send to your acting partner, and they send it back to you. Pulse, 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 pulse. So you as an actor have to decide um, you're going to make a choice. How are you going to respond to this pulse of energy you got from this other person? Are you just going to let it go and that is going to be the end of the interaction between you and the other acting partner? Or are you going to pulse it back with words or physical actions? Or maybe not responding is your action. That's your choice because you wanted to make them be startled, like you were supposed to pulse me back. That beat, we're down a beat back and forth, and all of a sudden you stopped. And I'm looking, and then I got to make a choice on, what I want to do here. When you're doing acting, the acting teacher gives you a funny definition of truth because that's what the acting teacher is going to tell you. What are you doing with your other acting partners in doing the scene study? Well, the acting teacher is going to tell you you need to explore this script, which means don't always do it the same way. Are you a wooden character? That's a character that always responds the same way. Wooden acting is not going to get you a lot of acting jobs. Now, when I watch Netflix, oh my God, the acting is horrible. It is always, always, always just over dramatic and like pregnant pause. And I don't know, other people have noticed this before, but still, it's not being fixed by the actors. The actors are still appearing like they learned how to act by watching Search for Tomorrow, a 1970s soap opera that's not even on the air, hasn't been on for 25 years. But that's the way that all of these actors act, soap opera-ish all the time. So the acting teacher says, if you're going to search for truth as an actor, one of the things you have to search for is that you stop being Groundhog Day with your presentation. I mean, Jack Nicholson is always Jack Nicholson in a Jack Nicholson movie, isn't he? I don't know. I'm really dating myself again today. Like Jack Nicholson was such a big actor when I was younger, but I mean, he got dementia and he doesn't act anymore. But the whole point of a Jack Nicholson movie is that he always was Jack Nicholson playing these other characters. Was he capable of being like some other ones? Some other actors are like, they're not themselves playing a character, they are the character. And you can't see anything to do with the actor in the performance. You just see the character, and the character is not that actor at all. So when I'm going to respond to questions that have to do with, I'll call them just thoughts that are put together in maybe like a school of a thought or a philosophy or a teaching or a religion or a mythology. I mean, getting to truth, it's most likely, are we moving the acting partners? Are we moving us, the acting teacher, and the viewers of this performance? Are we moving them into a higher state of consciousness? How are you going to know? Well, you got to know what higher states of consciousness are like and why higher state, why not a lower state? Well, you move to a really low state of like apathy. You're basically relying upon other people to feed soup to you. You're so apathetic that you don't even want to eat. It's the next step on the path downwards. The downwards path beyond apathy is death. So no, you don't want to send people in the direction of death. You want to be uplifting people to higher consciousness. And that is a good goal for an actor to think of when they're making choices. Because otherwise it's just simply, I can be Dr. Evil or I can be Superman, and, they're just characters that I'm playing. And if you're looking at it that way, then you're not elevating humanity. The point of being here on planet Earth is to what? Are you here because it's a playground? Are you somebody who thinks it's going to be funny if I take a big shit in the public pool? And I'm going to laugh my ass off? Well, we saw that in a juvenile movie in 1980 or something. A turd in the pool and everyone gets, "Ah, but seriously, I mean, that's what you're talking about. You're just going to have an Earth playground and you're going to be a jet setter if you can afford to be. So, burning all that fossil fuel. I mean, seriously, it's such a stupid argument. You're just one person, flying from Marseille to San Juan, Puerto Rico in your private Learjet. But there's a lot of very poor people, like in Vancouver, Canada, who recycle everything, even the eggshells. And they're trying to do their little part. They're poverty stricken. They can't afford to own their own house, so they are, living in a basement apartment in Vancouver. And they're truly trying to do their part as being an Earth citizen with their very limited means to simply recycle everything. And you jet setters are like, I'm here, it's Earth is a playground, and, today I'm going to take my Learjet and we're going to go to Epstein's Island, and then we're going to go, we're going to go find those, those Microsoft billionaires. They've got those enormous yachts on the Pacific Ocean. The one guy from Microsoft, he's got a helicopter on the back of his yacht. Seriously. It's the same city because that thing gets parked in Vancouver, different places. You see that yacht come to town. They drive it up from Seattle, and it's got a helicopter on the back. It's not Bill Gates. It's another one of them. So this guy is a copious consumer of petroleum products. And Earth is his playground. He doesn't give a rat's ass about anything at all. And he's one of the head dudes of Microsoft. So if you think Bill Gates, who's also one of these same kind of Microsoft billionaires, if you think he really is for planet Earth. No, his class of people, conspicuous consumption. They're not Gandhi. Gandhi was humble. He didn't live at the Taj Mahal. So Bill Gates is no Gandhi. Never going to be that way. He's the billionaire's boys club. And seeing he's taking this leadership position to tell governments what to do, we have to keep reminding you, because these people are getting your attention as being the world elite. And maybe you say, well, they're doing it the American way. I'm rich, and I'm going to do it the American way. I'm going to stay rich. I'm going to stay a copious consumer. And then we're going to have Ford announce, another 15 years, we're going to be selling all these electric vehicles because we're on board with cleaning up planet Earth. That's nice, Ford. I mean, you've been trying since the 1980s to do electric cars. And the truth of the matter is, according to some other information, that there's just as much fossil fuel that goes into the manufacturing of a Ford pickup truck as that Ford pickup truck will use during its lifetime as a truck. Because there's an enormous amount of energy that's got to go into making steel. Or aluminum takes unbelievable amounts of energy to take the raw material bauxite and turn it into aluminum. So your electric car is still going to be very, very high in energy use to make it, Mr. Ford. But, these are the half-truths that corporations tell you, or Bill Gates tells you, because they're professional liars. We call it salesmanship on planet Earth, and it's seen as a virtue.